Are we done with Kurt? That is a very good question, Rowan. A very, very good question. I want to talk about this team because I did go through free agency, and for the most part, I have a setup for what we're going to do and what we're going to kind of look to do throughout this preseason. So let's talk about this because last night we got to the draft super, super late. It was a good one, though. It could have been an all-timer. It wasn't. Yes, I cried myself to sleep as promised. It was a good draft. It wasn't insane. Here's our situation. At quarterback, Kyler Murray's penalty is now finally less than what we would save on him. Now would be a good time to trade Kyler Murray. He's 29 years old. We're not going to win this year. Now is probably the right time to finally trade Kyler Murray. And that leaves us with a few other questions. Is Kurt Slater the guy after 2 years of being mid and not getting a breakout? He is still normal dev. There have been some dev changes too. We'll talk about that. Riley Young, of course, is just a random depth option. I brought on Kirk Cousins to be in the mentor role. But then there's Brian Shepard, who we accidentally drafted 19th overall because I was practically falling asleep. But he does have hidden dev, funny enough. So the thought is, try Slater and Shepard this year, but probably cash out on Kyler Murray. I think that's the plan. Drop Riley Young to the practice squad and run with Slater, Cousins, and Shepard. I think that's the way to do it. Because like I said, finally, don't get me wrong, that penalty for Kyler is still pretty damn expensive. But funny enough, he is still a top half of the league quarterback. It could be worth moving him. It could be, because he does still have some value. And contract-wise, he still has 2 years left after this, by the way. Which is pretty rough. But now is probably the right time. Did I see that the Angels already called up their first-round pick? I did, but that is because he was destroyed. He looked like prime Barry Bonds in the minor league, so I would have been like, screw it, give him a chance too. So Kyler Murray, let's take a look at what we could get for him. We're heading into our third season with this team, the fourth in general in 2026. If we were to trade Kyler Murray, what could we get for him? Is now the right time? Again, we still have all the cap space in the world to try and pull this off. Let's see what we got. And again, this upcoming year, we already have 4 first-round picks. So we're feeling pretty good. But Kyler Murray, use the old trade finder. A center by the name of Kevin Groves. The last thing that we need is another offensive lineman with a dev pattern. Let me tell you, that's the last thing that we need. Jerry Jeudy. And a 4th. Jesus. I might have to consider that, but Jesus Christ, that would be robbing the Broncos? The Broncos blind. The Denver Broncos. There is a safety named Jared Sharpton, Gerard, who isn't bad, but we do have 2 safeties. There's Cameron Curl, who, again, is a very good safety, but we do already have 2 safeties this year now that we're interested in. There's the Shark at wide out, which isn't really amazing. Hey, Deeds, I mean, you're not wrong that it's a downer in a sense, but I'm sorry that happened. That said, you give a dog 15 years of a good life. You remember that. That is the thing to remember. As someone who has been in that situation, it absolutely blows. But, you could smile knowing that you gave a dog a good life. Anyway, we're moving on. But yeah, Deeds, I wanted to at least address that. I didn't want to be a dick and ignore it. Jameson Williams. 25 years old? That might not be a bad option. Jalen Phillips, who spurned us to go to the Rams in the first place. I'm not robbing Seattle of Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm just not doing it. Donnell Johnson, another safety. Okay, so if we were to trade Kyler Murray, I gotta be honest, I think I'd want to add a little bit more to this because I don't want to rob Denver blind of Jerry Jeudy. It would be amazing to end up with Jerry Jeudy, don't get me wrong. But I feel like that would be highway robbery. I mean, yeah, they don't have a receiving core without him. He's got 2 years left on his deal. That'd be highway robbery. Their biggest need, though, is listed as a quarterback. Tyler Huntley and Jacoby Brissett are their quarterbacks. No shit, they need a QB, but yeah, that would be rough. So if we add a pick, even like a fifth rounder, we already have a good running back. We do, but this guy is even better than the guy that we already have. We have a ton of running backs in the system, though. I haven't even showed you yet. That's an interesting one. Chris Godwin's out there. Patriots are offering Christian Gonzalez. If Bradley Robinson had star dev, like, I wouldn't mind picking up a real player, but I do prefer to go after somebody else. Sam Besser, 47 months on the primer. Sam, how'd that car you? Thank you, of course, for the continued support. If I were to give up a second, DJ Moore, and a third for Kyler Murray and a second, what's the point of trading QB if their team trades the top receiver? Like, well, exactly. That's why I'm not doing it. Because that logic's pretty faulty. Ooh, we could get Daniel Jones. Sam, I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Jamal Adams, Derek Stingley. Like I said, I am just intrigued at what is out there. We don't have to trade Kyler either, but obviously, like, there is some value out there. I don't know why I don't like the trade for real players that much, but I don't. Tampa's out of their mind thinking that Eric Ingles is worth that. Okay, we're going to come back to this. I do still think we're going to trade Kyler Murray, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Actually, we can go back to the trade screen here to go through the rest of the team. But there is a very good shot that he is gone. At running back, I told you I hadn't mentioned the situation here yet. We have Cameron Walton, who has dropped from X Factor to Superstar, which blows, but he is still very, very solid. Ty J. Spears, I would like to try to trade. Like, he's just not going to be amazing for us. I have at least temporarily signed Ezekiel Elliott to be a mentor. We have Mike Prince, who's going to get practice squatted. And then Lockhart, Turner, and Tucker. Now, see, on the trade screen, was there an update? Did it always show it on the trade screen, but it won't show it on the draft screen? Or did they finally update the game today? I don't know what happened. But yeah, Tucker was the guy that we randomly drafted that has a hidden dev pattern. So, again, I'd love to trade Ty J. Spears. What if there was an update? Oh my god, maybe they listened, huh? Maybe they listened and added in that feature I was begging for after the most recent draft. That would be amazing. There are offers for Murray and Spears together, most of whom so far are involving safeties. We could pick up Kendall Fuller as a vet. Jonathan Mingo. Jameson Williams again. The Patriots really are all in for him. Byron Murphy. Again, I don't want to rob the frickin' Seahawks blind. 82 overall, but X Factor, Harold Landry. Really? I mean, Ellington did drop off. That would make our linebacking core a little bit better. It would fill a role. He's getting paid a boatload of money. We got some picks in that deal as well. I know he's 30, but like I said, I don't like stealing young players off of their teams. You know, as soon as you can. But Harold Landry at 30. If I hit counter offer, what is this contract looking like at this stage? 30 years old, formerly at Boston College. Nighthawk, what's up? Pretty crazy day. My grad program had some strict protocols when it comes to enrolling in courses outside of my department. Nighthawk, I say this with the utmost respect. Sounds exciting. So Harold Landry is on the last year of his contract. Has a lot of interest in potentially staying here. And the big benefit to this is that we get some extra draft picks. Both this upcoming draft and the one after. I mean, we do get an X-Factor linebacker for Kyler Murray, and then Ty J's kind of offset by the pick. It's a pretty fair trade. I mean, Kyler's only a year younger. I don't hate that trade. Will the cap work? Given that they offered it, I imagine it would be. Imagine it would work. They have Trey Lance, Will Levis, Jaden Montgomery. I can't believe they added the frickin' X Factors there. Or just the dev pattern. I don't mind that trade offer. It's not this blockbuster, but it's not going to be for Kyler Murray at this point. And again, the savings are higher than the penalty for Murray. And we know we're not going to use Kyler moving forward. We are going to trade Kyler Murray to the Tennessee Titans. And we're going to pick up Harold Landry. We're going to do it. I'm taking that one. Oh, even though they... Oh, that sucks. Even though they offered it, it won't go through. I know it showed them as over, but they were the ones that offered it, and it still didn't go through? That sucks. That sucks. What if I throw a third rounder in there? Any other deals? I mean, DJ Moore. Honestly, I mean, again, DJ Moore, he's older at this point, but man, a number one wideout target would be nice. Jonathan Allen, who is old as hell at this point. Not really old as hell, but still. And there's Juju, Bradley Robinson, Jamal Adams, Derek Sting. You know, what is the Bears' situation right now, and would a Kyler Murray make sense? Not really. They have Justin Fields for 5 more years. Sheesh. That is, damn. There's got to be a trade here that makes sense. There's got to be. So like I said, running back, we'll still see what we can do with Murray and Spears. Fullback-wise, Tyler Matthews. I elected not to draft him, but as you can see, star dev rookie as a fullback. So he's our new number 1. Drew Carr is going to get sent to the practice squad. Here's another issue, though. At wide receiver, I was tempted to trade Hollywood Brown because it is the last year of his deal, and he doesn't really want to re-sign, I believe it was. Or if he did, he wanted too much money for what he was going to be worth. Yeah, okay, that's what it was. It's just the idea of, like, we're going to have to pay him a lot more. So, if I were to put Murray, Spears, and Brown in the same trade, oh my God, we would get an offer. DJ Moore, a 3rd and a 4th. Man, why is Eric Ingles' value that high? Josh Allen, who ended up in Washington. I mean, that would help the linebacker front. That would help the linebacker front a lot to bring in Josh Allen, who obviously is not originally with this team. So, obviously, IRL. He is with Jacksonville. So that one I wouldn't mind. Another offensive tackle. Again, it's an improvement on what we have, but that's the last thing that we need. Although you could say, hey, it's an improvement on what you have. Take that shortcut, which isn't the worst idea. It would pretty much mean that Paris Johnson gets traded. Or somebody else, though. Mac Joe! Amazing. And Stingley and Anderson. Murray, Brown, and Ty J. Spears for Josh Allen and a 3rd is pretty damn good, though. They need a quarterback because their guy right now is Davis Mills. Then they'd have Hollywood Brown and Terry McLaurin for the year. It would hurt their linebacker core a bit, but they do have someone like Frank. It makes sense. It makes sense. We get that missing piece of our linebacker core. And Josh Allen, we move on from Murray and Brown. Brown's on an expiring deal. Ty Spears, we get whatever we can for him. And then again, Murray, there's no space. I think we take this. And again, I'm not afraid to do this trade because it's not as if Washington drafted Josh Allen and he's an actual prospect that they're building around IRL. I think we're going to do this. I think we are. Can you get a 2? I can try, but honestly, I'm not really worried about making sure I get max value out of it. I'm more often than not just good with what it is. I don't think we're going to spend the big money to keep Marquise Brown around. Kyler Murray's got to go at some point. It might as well be now. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. Kyler Murray, Ty Spears, and Hollywood Brown have been traded to the Washington football team in exchange for linebacker Josh Allen and a 3rd round pick. It's not a bad bit of business. Because obviously it takes Hollywood Brown's value and Kyler's value to hit Josh Allen. The 3rd covers it. I'm all right with that. And we have ourselves a stud linebacker now. And we finally move on from Kyler Murray. Again, I said it was basically a matter of time. We had to wait until that penalty dropped. And it finally did. So the question is, can Brian Shepard prove to be the quarterback of this team instead of Kurt Slater? I feel like this is the year. Like, if Kurt Slater does not get a breakout this year, we got to be done with him, right? I know there are some people in chat calling for him to already not be the guy. Which isn't the worst idea in the world, really. So the rest of these moves, were there other players I wanted to trade? Those were pretty much the big ones. Those are the big ones. So we will finalize more of this team in a bit. Of course, we brought in quite a few mentors off the free agent list. The ballot of the accidental quarterback. I mean, we'll see. I always hit that freaking manage team button because that's what it should be. It should really be like a manage franchise button, but it's not. Kyler Murray is off of this team. And again, we do still have a penalty for moving on from him, but the savings were higher than the penalty, so it's a good sign. So let's go with the optimal depth chart for the moment. We'll make sure that Slater and Shepard both get playing time in the preseason, and we'll figure it out from there, really, in terms of how this is going to play out. Obviously, wide out, we just took a pretty big hit in terms of quality, but what are you going to do?
I'm just
That's a nice time to join. You can see the trade. Shout out to Coach Horton for the follow. I appreciate it. We'll fix up the rest at the end of the preseason once our team is set up. God help me, though, I have to go through training camp. God help me. It is worth it, though. It is worth it. So we got 2 passing options, which is good because that means we have 2 quarterbacks to work on. Let's see Brian Shepard on the field for the first time. Let's see him. Let's see him. All right, Mr. Shepard. We need you to back up. Ah! Well, we got 1. It led him a little bit too much. I threw it too late, but perfect accuracy, apparently. Sprint over here. Oh, I threw it too late. Hate to see it. Aiden, 60 months. Jesus Christ. Seriously, the resub time length from some of you is just insane. Aiden, thank you for the 60 months. That double target pass. That was for you. We're going for the triple. Oh, baby, a triple. I hit no targets. Somehow I hit 0 targets. Ha! That's a double. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. All right, Shepard. Shepard's got a bit of an arm. I like it. Roll out. I somehow missed every target. All right, Shep. Are you the guy? The accidental pick. Are you our man? What do you do here? Ha! Hell yeah, brother. Oh, we got a silver out of it. It's not that bad. So I'm intrigued, actually. I need to find the patch notes from today's game. Like, did they actually fix that? I'm going to be mad, by the way, because last night, again, I almost didn't do that draft. And from now on, if it's like, oh, hey, if you do a draft, you can see whether, you know, who's hidden dev and who isn't out of the gates. I'm going to be mad if you can see that now. After we did a draft last night. I can't find the patch notes. Can somebody find those and link them to me in chat? I would really appreciate it. All right, Kurt. We need you here, Kurt. This is the time. Oh my god, what a play. You can't see it in free agency, so I don't think it'll be a thing for the draft. Yeah, so like they have it for trade value. Do they have it for after you draft somebody? Nice catch, Wilson. It'd be really stupid if they had it for the draft screen. But if they didn't have it, what a grab. But if they didn't have it, or for the trade screen, but if they didn't have it for the draft. What a throw. Oh, Kurt, why can't you do this when we actually play? Oh, man, Murray got murdered. Again, we're not going to have a very high quality receiving core this year. That's a great throw, though. I mean, Rondale Moore is now our #1 wideout for the year. We need this to be that was a good play. We need this to be a good year for wide receivers in the draft because we have yet to have a year where that's the case. That shouldn't have been picked. That was a bad throw. Oh, keep going. Why'd you stop? He had the entire end zone to run along and he would have had it. I don't think there are notes, at least not publicly. GG's. Fucking GG's. They're doing a great job. So Hollywood Brown. Oh, wow. Pass interference. Hollywood Brown, Kyler Murray, and Ty J. Spears went to the Commanders for linebacker Josh Allen, who was signed there as a free agent like 2 years ago. So, all right. Both quarterbacks we did okay with. Get the extra XP. The rushing attack. S-Star. We have S-Star. Cameron Walton. Got to get him that extra XP if we can. We got to do it. With this team, we can't pass up that XP. He gone. Woo. Day 1 patch. I mean, Crash, that would probably be it. Friday was the actual day 1. Oh, Walton, I love you. Woo. I wish you were still an X Factor, but he had freaking Freight Train, too. It's such a good X Factor. He's going to get hurt. Oh, no way. That's impossible. All that backpedaling, but recovers his center of balance? That's insane. Nope. Fuck you. That's right. Attaboy, Walton. Got that breakaway speed. Look at him go. The best number 10 in franchise history. I feel gross even saying that. The blocker didn't do what we needed them to do. There we go. They did nothing for the old gen. People basically waste their money for a roster. That sounds about right. I mean, in fairness, I'm not blaming the consumer, but I'm also blaming the consumer. Like, we're at that point where if you don't have the game on the most recent gen, the most recent gen's been out long enough that you should know that especially yearly sports games are going to be mid on that prior gen at this point. So, like I said, I'm not totally saying it's someone's fault, but, you know, iPhone stopped supporting their old phones. I mean, basically. Like, at a certain point, like, these new consoles have been out for, what, 3 years? Like, at a certain point, you just have to expect the quality to dip. I just realized there's a stutter step. At least we're getting the grabs. Can't put a trade slider in that's too advanced for old gen. So the problem is, trust me, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. The problem is, year on year, more goes into the upkeep. Oh, I don't get why they don't throw sometimes. More goes into the upkeep of going back through and making sure things still work than a lot of people realize. Like, there's a lot of maintenance that goes into it. So, at the same time, like, I agree, they probably could put more of a focus if you're going to release it for that console, but at the same time, the idea that it's being released on an older console is the idea of the higher-ups. If it was up to the dev teams, they would have abandoned NBA 2K, like the more modern consoles. 2K22 would have been the year for sports games where the devs would have preferred to have abandoned those older gens, but they don't get to make that decision. So I'd rather play a roster update than spend ridiculous money on a new console. That's fair too. I mean, you know, I will say obviously what constitutes ridiculous money is in the eyes of the beholder. Get through. Come on. That's right. Run right past him. Run right past him. Fuck you, boys. Great game. Great game. Just sprint right past him. Oh, stepped out of bounds because I thought it was going to engage and it didn't. Well, there goes my chance of gold. I'll just disengage from you. Yep. Yep. Nope. Nope. Up. We're stumbling. We're rumbling. We're rumbling. We're stumbling. We're bumbling. We're running right past people. Great game. Great game. Whew. You didn't have to run over the circles. Wait, if you didn't, there are circles to get multipliers? I didn't even see them. So it shows how fucking blind I am. All right, Josh Allen in a Cardinals uniform for the first time. If this guy can't make frickin' tackles in this minigame, who the hell can? He's jet lagged. That's all it is. He's jet lagged. He's jet lagged. Oh, goodness. And Jays, I mean, that's a common story, is the idea of like people living paycheck to paycheck. But at the same time, like the conversation was like, oh, the prior gen version sucks. It's like, that's how it's always been, though. Like, really, that's pretty much how it's always been, aside from, you know, it's like around this time, it's like, you weren't going to buy, I mean, if you bought NHL 16 on the PS3, you technically bought Legacy Edition. So it's like, people know what sports games are at that point. So it's the idea of like, well, a new console's really expensive. Then just, if you know the newer version of a game, but on an older gen sucks, just don't buy it and put that money towards whatever, you know? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just way off base here, but I mean, I lived that life for a long time. Like, trust me, I haven't always been in a position where I'm like, oh, new thing, I'm going to buy it because I can, because I'm an adult, but not saying that people aren't, you get the point. As a kid, it was one of those things where it's just like, even I knew, it's like, oh, I don't have an Xbox 360 yet, I have a PS2. If I skip out on this game, and this game, like, you get the point. I'd like to think you get the point. Who knows? Maybe I'm being insensitive. I'm not doing the defensive back battle. I fucking hate those ones. So, shout out to training camp. I'll be more engaged in training camp once we start the UDFA challenge, for sure. Jared Goff and the Minnesota Vikings. Just don't give EA money. It's not a bad solution. That is not a bad solution at all. I have an Xbox One and EA for you playing. Really. I mean, yeah, there's that idea too. Like, you know, the idea of, like, so for example, if it was me and I was still on an Xbox One, I could get Madden 24 that I know is going to be an inferior version, or I could subscribe to Game Pass for however many months and then just download a bunch of shit. You know, it's just the idea of I get it. Yes, those prior version games should be better, but they're not. Everybody knows that they're not. So why bother spending money on it if you basically know it's going to be a roster update? The idea of, well, it should be better. Yes, but should isn't how these companies operate, you know? So, I don't know. Let's go back to Derek Ridley. Beautiful man. Our secondary is in good hands. So I think we're going to need a scheme change and a playbook change this year. Like I said, it's pretty much the last year we could hope that Mr. Slater is actually the guy. Although we will take a look at the preseason numbers through those 3 games and see if there is an obvious shout for who the starting quarterback should do. So I've been doing with PS Plus. I mean, again, for the budgeted gamer, I hate that word. The good thing is, like, it's easier now than it's ever been to still be able to maintain the hobby because of PlayStation Plus or Game Pass. Shout out to Rad Roach for the follow. Welcome in. And Jake, hello to you. And your better half. And you'll tell me this is the one time she's not actually watching because you don't have it on the big TV. All right, preseason. Minnesota. What do we got for you? We lost 26-9. She's at work. I just dropped her off the one time. God damn it. We have an injury. You can't write this shit. You cannot write this shit. A fractured shoulder blade for Kurt Slater. So we know who our starting quarterback is going to be. No competition there. It's going to be the accidental first-round pick in the form of Brian Shepard. Am I allowed to drop people to the practice squad now? I'm still not. I hate that you have to wait. But it is what it is. Just going to go to an NFL game, but that ain't going to happen. Correct. That's why you'll always hear people still suggest NFL 2K5 or older Maddens, which Lord knows I have plenty of older Maddens over there for good reason. All right. What an interesting time for that injury to happen, though, huh? Damn. What an interesting time. All right. Well, let's get through this preseason. Tank season starts now. I don't know what you're talking about. Shepard's about to lead us to a Super Bowl. Just you wait. Just wanted to make sure he was number 1 on the depth chart. And he is. Slater just fractured his shoulder blade. Kyler Murray has been traded. And Jake hits us up with the 30 6 months. My God, Jake, thank you for that. Appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Griffin, we need a breakout moment for you this year, buddy. The guy I could have gotten and should have gotten instead of you is a future Hall of Famer. You wouldn't buy Madden PC finally get the next gen update, so I figured fuck it. Fair. I haven't checked to see like what the modding scene is like. Like that's the only reason I'd want it on PC. Like I get the idea of like, oh well, you know, I have a PC and I don't have a gaming console. I prefer playing on PC. But at the same time, it's like playing a sports game that's not stylized like a Mario style game on Switch. It's like, why? Why really? Like for PC wise, I'd want it to be for the modding scene. All right. Preseason game number 2, Jacksonville. We lose 42-14. But we do have a mentorship and a training camp standout, apparently. Who's the mentorship? I mean, it'll be OBJ, since we brought him in. And he is a fan of Johnny Murray. However you can help. Odell, however you can help. Make this kid better. 1200 XP, that works. Start calling him Odell Jr. So who is our training camp standout? Been around since 2017. Hey, Jake. I mean, hey. We appreciate you, buddy. We do. Corbin Williams again. Are you kidding me? Wow. Second season in a row that Corbin Williams is our training camp breakout. He is dying to go superstar. Absolutely dying to go superstar. How's his chest doing? Good question. Good question. K-Town, what's going on? Can somebody confirm the status of his chest? I diagnose you with chest. You know, I did just realize, though. Like, if I go to NFL roster, it doesn't show someone's X Factor, right? No, it still doesn't, with all that dead space. Yet it shows it in the trade screen. That's so fucking weird. God, that's so weird. Oh, man. Injured with injured chest. A legend. Brian Davenport. I don't think there was an update today. Someone said there was. But who knows? I don't know. I just hope they add that. Again, there's no reason to have to do an extra click every time. Like, my prayer is that they add that before the UDFA series, because it would cut so much time off of the setup every single season of having to look at every free agent that might be star dev that snuck to the draft. So update Johnny Murray as well. All right. Final preseason game, and then we can finalize this team for our 3rd season at the helm of the Cardinals. No Kyler Murray and no Kurt Slater. Murray due to a trade and Slater due to injury, which is ridiculous. So finalizing our crop of quarterbacks. Slater's hurt. Riley Young is on his way to the practice squad. We did indeed win that preseason game. There goes Riley Young, and Kirk Cousins is the backup. You like that. You like that. Mike Prince is off to the practice squad. Just on one screen that showed what dev pattern they were. Yeah, it's the trade screen. And that's the only place it apparently shows up. Drew Carr, you've been pretty good for us for the last few years, but we have a new toy. So Drew Carr off to the practice squad. Mr. Webster, good to see you. How are you, my friend? Let's see, we're good there. Johnson, Ringer, Paul Lincoln needs to go to the practice squad. I might have to shift around the offensive line because of the amount of people that we have. CJ Hendricks Needed to go to yield practice squad. Got our right guards and our right tackle, Bryson Cook. Defensive end, it's Williams and Autry. Right side is Lawrence, Baker, and Stills. DT is Hunt, Burrow, and Sheldon Rankin. We now have Allen, who we're considering a right side option. Ojolari, Popo, Harris, with Matthew McQueen getting dropped to the practice squad. So this is the quarterback future of Mr. Shepard. Well, he is the starter due to injury, so this will be interesting. As Eddie Buckley on his way to the practice squad, another miss from the most recent drafts. Corners, Teron Johnson, Kohu, Callahan, who we took second overall. We have Howard, Williams. We were going to drop. Can I put Williams on the practice squad? I cannot. So unfortunately, it is going to be Davenport that gets dropped to the practice squad. But again, he's not quite the superstar dev option that he used to be. Nor is the other younger corner, Stephen Byers. He dropped from star down to normal. God is dead. So we'll move Byers over. And safety, Derek Ridley, who has gone superstar. And then Griffin's here. Bankston can be dropped. Jake Elliott's back as our kicker. Logan Cook as the punter. Again, we have San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Jacksonville's first round picks. I think we still have to cut like 2 players. On the dot. Look at the big brain on me. I can math. It'll be a good time. So we will go back over to safety. Quincy Bankston will get dropped to the practice squad. We've had San Francisco's first rounder for like 3 straight years. I know, isn't it great? Isn't it great? All right, I got one more dude to drop. I don't want it to be a running back. So it's going to be a miss at linebacker from this last draft, Randy Harris. That gets dropped because we brought in Mr. Allen. I'm actually going to move Josh Allen over to the right side. Again, he was the big name brought in for Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown, along with the draft pick as well. So... and again, we could probably look to flip him a little bit later on, too, at some point. So with that, let's get a look at this depth chart. Slater's still going to be out for like a month. So this is the opportunity for Shepard to go full Tom Brady, take the starting spot, and never look back. We'll see if he can do it. Let's optimize the depth chart here. Brian Shepard. Running back wise, again, Zeke is only here in a mentor role. So we want Lockhart, Turner, and Tucker in the mix. Kyler Murray was traded, yes. So wide receivers, it's weak. It is weak. We're banking on breakouts for some of the younger guys, but it is intentionally weak as we moved on from Hollywood Brown. Tight end, we're good. On the O-line, it is Paris Johnson, Clifton Bryan, Jeremiah Proctor, Matt Bolden, and Bryson Cook. And again, we have a lot. Every single one of those O-linemen have at least star dev. Let's see, we got Corbin Williams. We want Baker, who has a hidden dev, over DeMarcus Lawrence to be the starter there. DT, Hunt, and Burrow. It's good. BJ Ojolari's there. We want Spitzer as the second middle linebacker. Allen on the right. Johnson, Kohu. We want Callahan to be our number one corner. No doubt about that. And X will drop to the fifth spot. That works for me. Our secondary is actually going to be pretty good. Our secondary is the highlight of this team in a lot of ways. Johnny Murray is going to be the kick returner. Proctor's the long snapper. Third down back. Won't be Zeke. Power back is Walton, though. Yeah, again, Zeke is only here for that mentorship. Let's get this. Let's set up there. That works. Helen on the right, Lawrence on the left. That's fine. I'm already up to Marcus. Lawrence still plays a bit. There is no way the dog just barked to go out, is there? That can't possibly be what I just heard. It can't be. Actually, you know what? I want to make sure. Like, Williams is there. And I want Baker there, too. And then DT, we can have Daryl Hunt. So, let's finish this up super, super quickly before the dog ruins a good night's rest. There's the bark again. Well, the team is set. I'll be right back.